we're going to continue on from here. I'm going to turn off the current ref display layer because we need to import our next set of image references. So we're going to grab the balloon. Let's see here. I'm going to grab the front. And first I have to actually set my project back to the correct one. Let's see here. I believe it's this one. File. Yep. Now, hopefully, click this. There we go. So, I want my balloon, and this is the front. So I will do that one. I am also going to grab the side, and then we're going to grab the top. Oops, wrong button. Top. There we go. I'm gonna grab them all. I'm just gonna scale them up. I'm just gonna put that one there. Can push this one back. Actually, I'm going to actually turn on the other display references. I'm just going to grab the number. Yeah, so I scaled them to 250. So I'm going to do the same for these guys, just so that they have the same scale. Turn those guys off. Push them back. And I'll leave that one there. Right. So I am going to Control G, call this the let's sell it. Let's see, blimp ref. I'm also going to add this as a new layer. What one was this? This was that, but let's see here. Let us start with this one. I'm going to say DL ref ref L. There we go. And I'm going to put that to reference mode so I can't click on it. I'm going to select the cameras and re-hide them. I'm going to grab all this stuff. I'm actually going to go to this layer. I'm going to see that I have left side. Oh, that's the blend. So that one's fine, but I want my left and right side. I'm going to drop on here, right? And perfect. So, okay, I had them part of the group, which is perfectly fine. So I can now call this the done geo DL, right? Display layer. That way I know what it is. So, and I can also rename this one to also say ship. Ship reference DL. That way we're staying organized. All right. So for modeling the blimp itself, it's pretty easy. I feel like I'm going to start with let's see here. I'm just going to do a cylinder because it will be a lot easier this way. And I'll just hit T for the creation. obviously I'm going to do something like for a height. I don't need the height. I want radius of like 400. We'll say 600. We'll go. I'm also going to actually come over here because I need to turn on the rounded cap. I'll type 1 over there, and then I'm going to do not the height divisions, but the cap 1. I'm going to put like 10. No, we'll do 12, just because it needs to be round. And I can now, oops, also make sure I have 24 for going around, but I'm going to give it a height of, we'll say 40. No, if I did 100, just to, there we go. Right. Which is perfectly what I kind of want anyway. I'm going to hold down the J key to rotate when I go into rotate mode with E, right? And then I'm just going to scale this guy up. And I'm going to see what I look like over here. Oops. Let's see here. Round. And now I'm just going to stretch it just like this. Right? In one mode. That way it will resemble the blimp. Now for the front face, I'm just going to go vertexes. In fact, let's just go to, let's see. So if I have the face select, you can hold down our vertexes, grab the center one, hold control, oops. Hold control and go to faces. All right, I can shift extrude in, pull this a little bit forward. Right, and then I can go vertexes, pull it just a little more forward, not much. Right, to kind of give it that shape. That. Let's see here. Yeah. So I'm going to pick the edges pretty close to the area on my, just because I know I can't quite. Actually, I'm going to add one more down the center just because that will make it nice and even. Actually, if I were to undo that, no, it's fine. I'm only adding it so that I can add in this edge, and this edge, and this edge, and this edge. Now, before we get too far, what I'd like to do is go up here to the modify. No, I'm pretty sure it's under, let's see here, create mesh. Let's see here. Select, yes, similar, no. Let's see, components, convert selection, uh, no, there we go. Yes, so it's modify, convert, and then we're looking for edge, polygon edge to curve. So if I do that, it's going to have me have to do it for each one, which is fine. So I can hit the G key, which is perfectly fine. So G allows you to redo the last object. I'm just going to grab these quickly. So select the next edge right here, hit G, right? Again, so that was modify. And then it was convert, and then poly edge to curve. And then I go back up here. Nope, not that one. This one back here. In fact, I'm going to, after I do this one, right, I'm going to go back to object, vertexes, grab all the faces after that. And I'm just going to scale them in some and pull it back. Not much, just to give it a little different than the front. Then I'm going to isolate this by itself. Those curves will come in handy later. Right now, I just need to grab the edges that I previously had selected. So selecting them, I'm going to hit bevel. I'm going to do 2 segments with a decently sized fraction, except for, wait a minute, undo. Yeah, no, okay. Making sure I have the right edges. Try this again. Bevel with a double. Double. Grab the wrong edge up there, because that's what it looks like. Oh, I see. Right. I should delete history. That way it doesn't change the actual faces, or these ones, right? So these are the ones I want to keep. And then if I go to edges here, now I can bevel with 2 segments, decent size fraction. Roughly. In fact, you can also slow it down by clicking this thing here, and then you can easily control it. Why does it look like I have the wrong edge? Let's see. I'm going to grab these edges and delete their history. And then try again. Bevel. There we go. That's better. I probably want like 0.6 or so. Actually, 0.1 will do. Let's do 0.06. And yeah, object or edges. If I go to object mode, isolate it, I can just quickly grab each of the inner edges. And oops, not that one. And then I want to make sure that I only scale them on 2 axes. Right, very subtly. Don't want too much, but make sure I'm in 1, because I don't want to too much. Best bet would be to look over here. Yeah, so you want very slight, right? That way, if I let go, turn off that, you should almost see something there, but go back to where I have it selected. You can technically do them one at a time on one axis. I'm not going to do that. You can also hold control, which will do both as long as you grab that one. And then I'm just going to do something like that. And there, that actually looks right there. It'll look better once we actually have the proper topology. Then last but least, we need to quickly make our fin. All right. Well, in order to make the fin, just going to make a cube. Since we've got the blimp itself, I can now just quickly grab a cube. So let's just do this. I'm going to pull this up. And I am going to bring it over here, scale it up, get close to the size, except for obviously I want it to be this thin. I can scale it down some and go to vertexes. I'm just going to drag select and move these around really quick into the shape I want. I'm just going to pull these ones back, and then I'm just going to go faces, extrude, go to vertex. I can pull this one up here. Now, object, I'm going to purposely create some angons by going up here, bevel, do like 3 or 4 segments right around here. And then purposely, I will also, I'm just going to cut right like this. And if I right click, it'll cut right through all the way, making it easier for me to fix, as well as I'm also going to do this way as well. There. Now I can quickly fix my, let's see, do it like this. I should be able to, if I did something like that, there, that would be better. I forgot to turn on symmetry, but that's fine. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, and then if I were to do something like this, that would be 4. Perfect, just like that, right? Just to make it so that it's all nice and quads. Object, if I go Control 1, I can go to object itself, raise it up some, go back to vertex. We're going to just roll this down a little. I'm going to push this back some, just so that I can do that. And then just play around with the verts really fast. And if I were to come back here, I could go to faces. I know for sure that this is the one that crashes into the actual balloon, and I just pull this slightly forward just to do that, and then I can go faces and delete these guys. And with that, I am going to grab these faces along the top though, and quickly scale them to be nice and flat. I can also go to vertex and move these along the 2 axes here. Try to make it a little more straight. And now all I have to do is Control 1, grab the balloon as well. Let's isolate these guys. I'm going to hit Alt 5 to turn on the view, and then hit D. And then I'm going to snap it down to this vertex here, which will allow me to have my pivot point right in the middle. And then we can use Edit, Duplicate Special, and I just want to make sure that I turn off the duplicate input since we don't have animations. We want to rotate this 90 degrees, and we want 3 more copies. And if I apply, we've got them like that. And I'm going to select everything, delete their history, and freeze their transforms. With that, we are now going to I'm just going to call these, I could have done this first, right? Thin, or let's just say thin geo, thin underscore geo 0 underscore geo underscore 01. Just going to copy, paste. And then lim geo. There we go. Right now, I'm just going to grab the geo by itself and group them. And then the next tomorrow, we'll look at doing the blimp GRP group. That way, we can look at tomorrow doing the ropes for this using sweet mesh and so forth. But with that, I'm going to save. All right, we are going to continue where we kind of left off from the last one there to finish our airship, or at least not the, or at least the getting some ropes going to the actual boat. Now, what I'm going to do is select my blimp piece itself and hit H to hide. Last time we also went along by creating these actual nerves curves. So if you go to curves and see, you can make circles. Well, we got these ones by actually using, so if I hit Shift H on this again, right? Very simple, grabbing an edge, going to modify, convert to, and then going from polygon edge to curve, just like that. And then it would there. I'm not going to do it just, well, actually I could do it really quick. Just quickly modify, convert poly edge to curve. And then you'll see now we have a curve here, a new curve. But I am going to undo that since I don't want that one. That's, there we go. Go to object, and I'm going to hide this again because we now want to make the ropes going down to the actual ship on the left-hand side, or no, the right-hand side first, and then I'll group them together to duplicate them around. Then I'm going to get into a little bit on the curve mesh itself, but in the meantime, it's up to you where you grab your curve mesh, right? There's the EP curve tool and all that in the curve section here. I'm going to go back to the polygon modeling one, and I've already got mine here. You can go to the create tab, curve tools, and you want the CV curve tool. I hit Control Shift left click to add it to my shelf. I'm going to delete the second one, but I am going to move this one over here just because I like to have it a little over there. But that was just by middle mouse dragging. Allows you to move things around on the shelves. And then you come up here and hit the save shelves, all shelves. That way it's there. Now, for this, right, well, I need to start by making a quick line. So I'm going to zoom out, hit Shift A, Control 1 over here, right? I'm going to turn off the grid because the grid seems to be in my way. But I am going to start right roughly around here, undo that last one. So I'm going to click once and twice to go down to the boat. I'm also going to do this one as well. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to hit enter, right? And then click on the curve tool again. May as well make all the vertical ones just the way I want them, right? 1, 2, I'll fix that in a second. Let's see here. This here is a camera, so I'm going to hit H to hide that. I'll go back to the CV curve tool. So again, turning this on, I'm going to do 1, enter, and then I'm going to do this one, enter, and 3, enter. Let's see here. Let's see. Now, I'm going to hold down the C key, and then I'm going to use the holding down C and the middle mouse button as a button and drag this along. Now, ideally, right, you'd probably want it close to here to be out, right? You know what? I'm going to undo these because they don't look like proper curves because they are, again, actually, I'm just going to double click on this and do linear instead of cubic. That's probably why. So if I now hit 1, 2, and hit enter, there we go. It's a nice green one. There, so 1, 2, enter. G again to create a new one. 1, 2, enter. G to repeat last tool. Enter. G again. 1, 2, and enter. This is just, they're sloppily done, but that's because I need to first come along here. Now, I'll start with this one first, actually. Now, I'm going to see that I probably need to, if I turn on the other reference thing, you could kind of see that we can't see it anyway because it's too far behind the other one. Oh, I don't have the ropes there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So ultimately, what I'm going to do is find a spot that I can anchor these to. Roughly, I'd probably see right around here. In fact, I'm probably going to quickly make a little like knot area to. I'm going to hold V, snap it to this vertex, this corner thing, and I'm just going to do like a width. No, wait, this is a cube, isn't it? I didn't mean to hit a cube. I'm going to delete that, do a cylinder. Hold V, snap it up here, make it there. Hit T so I can do some options. Radius, I'm going to make that 4 centimeters roughly. I'm going to come over here into the channel box because I need to turn on rounded caps because I want hit 1, and then I'm going to add in the subdivisions of like, let's see, 6. Said rounded caps, no? Oh, wait. Let's just turn this one back off. I guess it don't matter. Awesome. And then I'm just going to add some height of like, we'll say 6. And then I'm just going to move this in. All right, I'm going to hit F really quick, go to faces, deselect these ones. I'm just going to cap that down there, hold V, there, faces. I can add in a couple extra, oops, there. And we'll just go like this really quick. I'm just going to scale this in, just like that. There we go. And I will come back and UV that. I should delete the faces in the bottom, but that will be the main point that I'm going to use to snap there. I'm also going to actually grab this. Typically, I'm just going to use it so I can easily snap things around. I'm going to shift clone 1 to move over here, hold V, and just snap this to this vertice. And hit F, pull it up. In fact, I should hit F, hit D, and snap this down really quick. That way I can now snap that to this vertice. And then pull it here, right there. And then the last one, if I zoom out, we can see it's a little harder. They all kind of attach near the back here. So I'm going to clone it one more time, holding V, snap it to this corner, hit F, pull it in. There we go. So I'm going to use this as my anchor point as a way to quickly reorientate these guys. So I can grab these last few curves. and just go to vertex mode up here by clicking on it this way. This way, they're all in vertex mode, and I can snap them as I please. Right now, for this guy, I'm going to hold V, click on the circle to make sure I bring it basically close to. If I hit Alt 5, I'm going to snap that here. Hit F in this part, zoom out, and then I could also hold V because I know I want to bring it basically around here, right? Technically, I would snap it to the outer side, so I'd hold V, snap it like this. That way, it looks like it would be coming in on the angle, and I'd have another one going around. So it looked like we tied it off, right? Now, this is where it's going to get a little confusing. So I'm going to hit C, holding down C, or you could turn on the curves thing, right? The main idea here is you want to make sure you click the center one to activate the center, and then having your mouse just above the curve. If you use the middle mouse button, it'll snap the curve or the vertex to the curve that you want, right? In our case, right, we want it roughly closer to the outside, just because this is also kind of where I'm going to hit H to unhide this really quick. Just to, in fact, I'm going to actually select this guy, go back to here. That way I can turn on, undo. Let's see here. Make sure I select the group. With the selected group, I'm going to do that. That way I can turn on and off the blimp as I need, right? And I can also get a better look here if I turn it on and off to see how well it kind of goes through the thing. And it doesn't look like it's crashing very much, so I'm quite happy with that one. So I'm going to hop over here to this guy after I go back here. There. And I'm also going to grab this vertex. Make sure the middle selected, hold V as well, so that way I can snap it directly down. If I hit F, I can focus in on it and see, again, this guy is coming from straight up there. So I'm going to hit C, and oops. If I hit hold, or not hold C because I already have it on, but if I can have it technically meet with this guy if I get a better angle. Middle mouse, try this again. I'm going to turn off the, there. It is on, right? Oh, no, it's not on. Okay, hold down the C, and then I'll snap it to this curve, bring it down. Now, I'm not a big fan of that one. Let's see here. Let's see. Well, let's first get it onto this curve. So holding down C, mouse button on, making sure I get the right curve. Right? As long as you have the middle thing selected, it'll be fine. And then I'm also going to turn this on just to double check that I'm not crashing through anything. All right? So now that I have it like that, I can see that most likely, oops, if I hit F to focus in on this point, it would probably be snapped to this vertex over here. Yeah, roughly out there, roughly, right? That way it looks like it'll connect to something, right? I can eventually come back in here, grab a ring around the hitching post, as I would call it, right? Did I even copy? I didn't copy that one by the looks of it. All right, so if I go to objects, I'm going to, in fact, just make that flat so it makes it a little easier. Grab these two again. Hold V and snap them down. I can at least do it that way. All right. And then I can now, apparently I didn't duplicate this. I'm going to snap it, holding the middle mouse, right? As long as you have the middle thing selected, you can snap it to any vertex you want, right? By using your middle mouse, the V key at the same time as the mouse wheel. And then I could just pull this over just like this. Now, for this guy, I'm going to turn off the blimp again really quick, just to make it easier. Go to the controlled vertexes and hold the C key to probably have it. Oops, make sure that I'm grabbing the middle, not all one way. That way it'll snap nice and easy. It'd probably be about here, I'm going to say. Yeah, and that doesn't look like it's going to be cutting into anything. This one guy here, I hold down the V key now, I can just mouse drag over here and automatically bring it at least closer. And if I hit F, I can then zoom out some. And probably I'd want the outer one here, so I'm going to snap it right around here. Right. Maybe give it a little pull away. In fact, actually, I'll probably do the same for the other one. That way I can have like a small little rope there if I wanted to when I'm done. All right. So in fact, I'm probably going to come back here now, go vertexes, grab these guys. So I'll start with this one, pull it out a little, and then go to object mode, select this curve here, go to vertexes. Oh, I don't want that, I just want the curve. There we go, vertexes. Grab that, pull it out, just so that way it doesn't crash through this thing, right? Technically, if I were to actually go to edges, quickly just modify, convert polyedge to curve, go to object, and I'm just going to select everything, delete history, and go grab this curve. I'm going to hit the center pivot because I want to make it bigger. Then I can just go back here to not vertexes, but select this guy, control vertex, holding C, just hold C, not making sure I'm on the move. Oops. You have to click exactly on these things, but it's very, there we go. No. Oh, I got it pretty close anyway. As long as I get it close, I don't even need to snap. I'll just manually move it here. There. That would be kind of what I'd be aiming for anyway. So, let's see here. For the last two, let's see here. Do I want it back that far? In fact, I feel like I'm going to move this up here. Yeah, let's move that up here. Hit F, move this up. D to edit pivot, snap it down to the bottom. Snap that down here. Perfectly fine. A little crashing is perfectly fine. All right. So what I need is these two. If I go to vertex mode really quick, I can just click on the center, holding V, snap that over here, snap that there, and I'm going to turn off the blimp really quick, holding C, clicking middle mouse clicking on the edge there. I'm going to give it a little extra over this way. Got this one as well. Oops. Making sure I get all of them and snap just like that. And then I'll turn on the blimp just to make sure they're not crashing through anything. Perfect. Perfect for there, but I am going to hold V, snap them down this way. This one. If I were to hit F here, I could actually see where it is. If I hold V, I can snap it that way and pull it out roughly there. This guy, I'm just going to snap here, pull it this way, roughly around there. Right. Yeah. Now that I've snapped everything into the correct places, I'm also going to quickly, let's see here. I'll redo the smaller rings later, but I am going to let's show off the curve tool. But before I do that, I'm going to select all my curves and hit Control G to group them. Rope underscore curves. Right. Let's see here. I'm going to call this. Let's see here. Pitching post. Yeah, we'll just call it. Bob. Nah, just hitching geo. Why not? Do paste that here really quick. Oops. We'll duplicate them at the same time as once we have the actual geo. But I'm going to hit Alt 5. And we're going to start with a quick little small curve here. All right. So I'm going to hit F. I'm going to grab this guy here. We're going to turn on the sweep mesh option. Now, the sweep mesh allows you to have a multitude of different things, right? So I'm going to maximize this so we can kind of see what's going on here with this little guy, right? So sweep mesh has a bunch of presets. You can make a custom shape as well with geometry or curves. But I'm going to go over the presets that we have, right? So poly is a nice round object by default. You can choose the number of sides. You can even technically make it a star. There is 2 different defaults. You can add a cap if you want, but I don't suggest doing that for depending on what you're doing. You would have to fix the angon on the end. Transform section here allows us to also add in some other things as well. Now, obviously, mine's not so round, which doesn't help me any. But you could, again, play here with the scale profile, right? Making it larger, right? We can give it a bit of a twist. Now, obviously, if I hit Alt 5, this guy has a lot of divisions, but that's more so based off this. If I hit Optimize, it'll basically be based where the points of the curve were. In our case, depending on for the rope, you might not want it as much, right? So start to end, you can different ones for distance or the precision, like how precise it is, right? You can make it as precise or as not as precise as you like. In our case, though, we want something to change things. There is 2 different things we can do. So first off, the alignment allows you to change where it is from the curve, right? So if I did left, you'll notice we are now on the left side of the curve. You can also choose the vertical, so bottom, so just like that, right? You can change like an offset, vertical and horizontal, different things like that. Now, under distribute is also the ability to add in more things. In our case, we want 4. In fact, you'd probably want the scale for these guys to be, I'm going to set this back to 1 really quick, right? Since we're not going to be making large ropes, but you could potentially, if I wanted to, I'd probably do a rope of 2 because they'd be a little thicker, but you would want to make sure that you have the scale intensity here at roughly so that they're about to intersect. So roughly around a 0.7 is what we're going to do for that, right? Now, as you can see, we've got this kind of nice little area here. All right, so now this is where the twist comes into play, right? You can see if I drag and drop this, it starts twisting. 2 isn't very much, but if I type in like 15, right? For this case, because of the way the rope is, right, it turns out to be a nice rope. Now, if I was doing a game, I would do a single tube instead of this. So I would go back to here. I wouldn't use the twist. Well, you would use the twist, but at the same time, you would want to be careful and you would want to make the rope more of a texture. In fact, you might not even use the twist here. You would just leave that in the texture itself. But in our case, I'm going for what I would do if I wanted to have it resemble a more realistic rope if you're doing a film, or technically you could get away with it with nanite for Unreal. So with these settings, I now have an idea of what I want to use on my curves. All right, so I'm going to grab all these curves. I'm going to delete our practice. No, I'm going to leave the practice one there for right now. All right. Now, be careful about you doing them all at once, because if you do them all at once, any changes you make to one will happen to the other. So if you wanted a rope to be a little smaller for certain ones, you may need to do them individually. In my case, I'm just going to do a quick sweep mesh for all of them. Now, this sweep mesh, I'm going to put the scale to 2. I'm going to put its divisions to 12 on the side. I'm going to go to duplicate. Be here. And then I want 4.7. And then for the twist, this is where I'm going to have to get in a little closer to see what's going on. I'm going to say 15. No, almost. I'm going to go up to 50. There we go. Now, the reason I'm leaving the precision at 75%, if I don't have it at 75%, I won't get the rope look like, especially since how dense it is. But it's only this dense because we have that much. Now, this is where I'm talking about, right? So I'm going to see now, I probably want to do these ones separate because they're not getting as much of a good twist for the roundness. Now, depends on how close you're going to get in accuracy, right? So I'm going to undo that sweep. Worst case scenario, I just wait for these things to clear out. I can come back down here, delete the sweeps. Then I'm going to grab the curves, poly 2 curves, because I know these ones are. Making sure that I only grab those ones, and then I'm going to sweep them separate, right? So these guys I can do 12, and I might even actually just take this up to 4, making the rope a lot thicker, right? And then I can do this with 4.7, and then I can then do a twist of, I'm going to say 100 to see what it looks like. And that actually looks like a decent rope, right? I can see what happens if I go down to 60% just to see how well it looks. That actually looks might be a little better for your computers. You can try 50, but I wouldn't go too much lower. As you can see, it starts to get blocky, right? So I'm going to leave it at 60 for that profile. These ones I'm going to grab. In fact, I know these are the left and right sides, so I'm just going to group them together really quick, and that way I can do this. And I'm going to do another sweep mesh. This one, because I'm going to do 12 as well, distribution for 0.7, and then scale profile. These ones I'll do 3, and twist of, I went with 20 last time. So if I select one of these and zoom in, I can always come back over here in the attribute editor to modify things, right? And I can say, I want this at 60. Let's do 65 for this one, just because the player could actually technically get to it, right? Now, depending on your rope, right, you'll notice that obviously I probably want this back down to 1. There, that will work a lot better, right? So I have more thicker ropes up above, right? And then these guys kind of tie into. At least here now I have a good reason to also kind of mimic these areas to go around. And then I would have the small rope that would go around to look like I kind of tied it in there, right? Now, I can, once I'm happy with my shapes too, I would check my ropes to make sure if I have to scale them in and out or things like that. Before then, you can still go back here to like the curve, right? For example, if I grab one of these, right click, go to control vertex, watch this. The rope will also move with it. See? So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to select all my ropes and we're going to delete history. Now I'm going to delete these spare because I want to. And then I'm going to put my curves on a display layer. And in fact, this will be the curve underscore DL. And then I can then save that. And then this will be volume DL, just so that I have it there. Then I'm going to show you this. It's a little busted right now, but I'm going to come up here and type in rope underscore 01. Oops, underscore 01. And you'll see that it didn't quite do all of them, but if I do it a couple times, you might be able to. And then I'll just do the ones that got missed. Again, it's right now glitchy. But I am going to grab my left and right sides. So I'm going to grab these guys, all the left sides, plus also holding shift, I'll add these guys to it. I'll group them together, call this left side, and then I'm just going to duplicate it and -1 it on the scale. Now, the best part about sweep meshes, right, is I can grab most of these, right, by themselves and just go to the UVs themselves, UV editor, and you'll notice that I've got this nice long rope here. It's very thin, but ultimately it's already laid out for me. I don't have to do anything for them, and it already tiles nicely. Now, you could make them a little more accurate, right? So if I were to grab, obviously, these guys, I would select all these guys, UV shells, select them, right? Now, this might be a little much for the computer, so be careful about doing them all at once. And then I would go to the transform, and I'm just going to make sure I set them to the same texel density as everything else. And you'll notice now I've got larger ropes, but they are resembling their actual size. It's perfectly fine that they're overlapping because you'll be using a tiling texture that would represent the rope itself. And then I can hit Q and go to UV shells or object mode. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And with that, you'll have some nice ropes. You would repeat the same process for the ones going around here as well. Now, definitely you'd want to see here, grab the round ropes. I'm going to drag and drop them into the blimp group. The rope curves, I'm going to let's see here. I'm just going to hit H because that would be fine. The blimp reference, I'm going to drag and drop into the reference group. Main ship, blimp. So undrag the blimp there. I'm going to left side, rope, group, rope, GRP, and then the right side, rope, GRP. So now I just need to worry about other type of accessories, right? So that would come down to modeling some things like cannons, fences, and things like that, or windows, and things like that. I've gathered a few references. I'm going to gather a few references for the next video, but that'll be a separate video where I might look at some accessories and stuff. So